Hello, Beez Bladers! Welcome back and welcome newcomers to the channel. Today I'm going to tell you about two knives that I've had the privilege of getting to carry, and they are both crazy. I mean, they're nuts. They're El Primo. And thank you to Bestech for letting me check this one out. And thank you to Stasa23 for letting me check out the other one. And this one is first, and this is the Bestech Buwaya. Oh, mama. Would you look at that? This thing is nuts. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it, and you'll get a whole different idea. And you definitely don't want to miss the next one, because the next one is way crazier than this one, in blade wise. But first of all, here's this side. Here's a look at this side. And do you notice anything? You know what Buwaya means? It's the Philippine word for crocodile. Oh, look at here. This looks like an eyeball. These look like scales. Yeah, once you see that as an eyeball, you can't unsee it. But if you look on this side, you have a titanium milled pocket clip. Oh yeah, it is super strong. It works very well in the pocket, easy in and out of the pocket. Of course, you have your steel lock bar insert, and you got a T8 going on right there, and just a little bit of look at this finish, and it has excellent, you can tell how good a texture this thing has. And are you ready to see this blade? Pow! Right in the kisser. Look how wicked. I'm telling you, this thing is wicked. And there's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 different versions. I'll put links in the description where you can go check them out for yourself. But this bad boy weighs in at about just over 5 ounces, about 5.2 ounces. Your overall length's 9.4 inches. Your cutting edge is 3.5 inches. Your blade length, 3.75 inches. And yeah, that's a flat grind. It's a flat grind, and there's no question as to where that grind stops. I love the lines of this knife. And if you look at it like this, does that not look mean? I'm telling you. Besides the fact this thing fits my head like a glove, I love the scallop scales. They look so good. The fit, the finish, everything about this knife, it is tight. I mean, it feels as solid as a fixed blade. It's centered. The lockup is right where you want it to be, right in the middle. And speaking of ergos, which I wasn't even speaking of them yet, but I have to. My hand's 4 inches from here to here, 3.5 from here to here, and from the bottom of my palm to the tip of my middle finger, 7.25, and it just melts. I mean, just holding it softly, it just melts in my hand. It is so contoured and so comfortable. Either grip. Some folks like to grip their knives for this way for certain occasions. That's not my style, not my thing, but I will tell you, it is locked in if you wanted to cut open some bags of mulch or some potting soil or something like that, because that's why we carry our knives, right? But this thing is an absolute dream. The action on it, it is superb. It's not drop shutting, and I'm not taking it apart because it is not mine, but it is just one little shake. It's hard for me to do it right now. I'd hit the camera, but it's just about a shake shut, just like that. Look at that. Oh my goodness, it is so nice. And it is not that hard. I'm not giving it a lot of gravity. And then the jimping, huge jimping. The jimping actually does work. Most of the time, in my experience, bigger jimping doesn't help a whole lot. But this jimping does kind of give me the opportunity to get a little bit of skin in the game. And it does lock into my hand very well. I would definitely call this a knife collector's knife without a doubt. I mean, it was hard for me to find a nitpick. Usually you can find a little nitpick here and there, but from a knife collector standpoint, this thing is amazing. The only thing would be, you do have this ledge right here. So if you're actually going to be using this for work, which I really doubt, I mean, I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're going to be using this for work or something like that, this might be an issue as far as slowing down your slice through things, but it does have a pretty reasonable tall flat grind going on right there. But these lines they're just spectacular. And then you have the lanyard hole right here, which I believe that's probably going to double as a glass breaker without a doubt. But I don't have any negative thoughts on this. This is a great knife. You know what? Let me show you the next one. Now, there were a couple things I didn't tell you about the Buwaya yet. Hang tight, and I'll show you those here in just a minute. This is the Bestech Fairchild. Oh, same deal. Look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, mama. Would you just look at that titanium? Just look at it. And all of its stonewashness. And I love these, I don't know what you call those. Some people call them speed holes, but I'm going to show you something about these here in just a second. You'll be like, oh, I see, I see. Look at here. You have a space back here if you want to do the whole lanyard thing. It is super clean, open design, really nice. The pocket clip works well. It is very sturdy. And I like that the pocket clip does not touch the lock bar. That is always a major plus. And you do have the steel lock bar insert, which is very nice, very, very nice. And the jimping, pretty good jimping. I could go for a little more aggression. It doesn't really stop my finger a whole lot, but you ready to see this blade? Pow! Right in the kisser. Look at that. It takes up the whole screen. This is a big boy with no question. This knife is 9.2 inches overall. It has a 4-inch blade with an incredibly tall flat grind. It weighs about 6.1 ounces. And if you look now, the thumb hole aligns with the body. You talk about some really thoughtful thought processes. I don't know what you want to call it, but in the design of this knife, it really does flow. The fit and finish on this thing, I mean, just absolutely rock solid. There are no questions about that. The lockup is really good. It's not a come on in there, get in there. It's not quite halfway, but it has a pretty solid lockup. And then you're centering right there in the middle. And this thing could not be any smoother than it is already. I mean, it drops shut. Like you better get your hand out of the way because it is coming straight down. And, you know, I would hazard to take a guess that Stasa probably took this apart, but I mean, oh my goodness. Now, as far as ergos, this thing makes my hand feel small. Just let me zoom out here a little bit. If you look, I'm not even up here on this giant front choil. My hand all the way back here. I mean, I feel like I could use this to do some bushcrafting or chop some wood. And yes, I know, before you all make the comments, you can't use that. Yeah, I know, okay? I'm just talking. We're just having fun here. Check it out, a really cool knife. But look at this, giant forward choil. When I choke up, look how much handle. My hand feels really, there's some knives that my hand, I feel like I have a giant hand. When I have this one in my hand does not feel so large anymore. So if you have really big hands and you have a trouble, and you having a trouble getting knives big enough, this one is, oh, wow. I mean, wow. Now, as far as the ergonomics, it is super, super comfortable. I mean, getting up in here to do some slicing, this thing has a phenomenal slicing blade. Look how tall that grind is. Oh, mama. So this is the Bestech Fairchild, and I don't have the number offhand. I believe these run in the $300 plus range. They are not messing around. You're getting the real deal with this one. And then the Buwaya runs north of the $200 mark. Now this one thing I forgot to tell you, or a couple things. This is Stonewash M390 blade, and these thumb holes, I guess you would call them whoa. Easy now, little fella. I guess you would call these thumb holes, would you call them a thumb hole? I don't know that you would actually call that a fuller, but whichever the fact, it does reverse flick phenomenally. The reverse flick is really good on both of these, but besides that, this one is S35VN stonewashed. So you're getting El Primo materials with both of these bad boys. Bestech has some very impressive, and I mean impressive knives in the Primo categories, but they also have some really good budget options, and I'm hoping to check out more of those here real soon. So I hope y'all enjoyed this little look at both of these knives. They are both very nice, very, very nice. I'm going to be sending them back to their home. So make sure you go watch this video. You're really going to enjoy that. Until I see you in the live streams or at the Hive stream or in the chats, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.